Welcome back everyone to episode 25 of our Let's Play series. So I have finished up putting the conveyor belts down, brought the level up for the spawning platforms. This is a mob spawner type that I tend to use in Sky Factory types. I'm hoping it'll work relatively well here as well. I might have to light up some of the areas nearby, but I tried to pick like an area where vertically we've done a lot of lighting up, so fingers crossed it won't have too much competition for the spawn rates. So that's all set up there. Mob crusher, we've put some signalum plated impulse item ducts down. So signalum is a resource that uses redstone, much like the flux ducts. So by using signalum plated item ducts, I can have the item ducts also convey power to the machine. So in this case, this will pull out the items into the chest using the reinforced servo, just like we saw previously, but it will also be putting power in, which I've run the leadstone flux ducts from under here through the wall and round to that pipe there. We're going to use this chest as our buffer. So to begin with, we're just going to see what kind of things we actually get coming in, and we'll use filters, probably a fairly advanced filter, to set up exactly which items are put into this chest, and then we'll stick the importer basically on this side of things, and we'll put the void bin up here with a dense pipe in the way, so that everything will preference to the filtered chest if it can do, and then into the void pipe. But I'm going to want to run it for a while without any void being able to occur, just so we can see exactly what we get out of it. The next part of the setup is to put a liquid tank in place, and we're going to want to get some of our fluid ducts. I have no idea whether the essence and experience is treated as a hot liquid or not, and I'm not going to take my chances, so we're just going to go straight in for the hardened fluid ducts. It's just safer. And then we need a servo. This one I don't think is going to need to be particularly fast, so we'll just have that like so, and then awesome, that's all that set up. Right, final part, let's go and break the extra bricks and torches. If I actually want to do this here, let's put some more crossing blocks in, because we're going to need to go back and forth between it, because I want to make my way towards the exit, because I don't know precisely when the mobs will start spawning. I don't want to be in the way. I'm not too worried about cobble not making back. I'm a little low on torches, although then again, I mean, I've got practically infinite coal and charcoal now, so torches are not the end of the world. Okay, that's that, and set that up like that, and voila. And now we'll leave that going for a little while and see what we come back to. The liquids should automatically go into there, items should come into here, and that is everything we need to do. Now to say, we'll look at getting items set up to take our good and useful items out of this chest and into the network, and then void everything that we don't want. But we'll leave that running for a little bit and look at it in a little bit. Oh, that's a good part. Let's just top that up and put our conveyor belt away. Right, I think we want to start looking at some immersive engineering items. I want to get into the position where we are actually making plates like automatically, rather than having to use like plates and wires automatically. I'm going to need a book for that, I think, because I don't remember exactly what the recipes are. Did I never make a I might not have ever made it. From the looks of it, I did not. Engineer's manual. Let's even if we did, let's just craft up another one. Engineer's manual. There it is. Blank patterns are the most efficient way of doing that. I don't think I've got any levers in there, so let's just make another one. Even if I do, it's not an issue. Right, engineer's manual. I must have made one somewhere because I'm sure it's an achievement to do it. We need to make, what's it called? Don't recall what it is called. Okay, let me for a second. Let me find the name, and we'll go through the process. Okay, managed to find the one. So we're looking at a metal press here, which means that we need to make a couple of pieces. We will need 2 steel scaffolding per one that we're doing, redstone engineering block and a heavy engineering block, as well as a couple of conveyors and a piston. So piston's obviously nice and simple, conveyor belts are nice and simple, redstone engineering block and heavy engineering block are the slight issues. So redstone engineering block, very nice and simple actually, so just do that to make that. Heavy engineering, we need steel mechanical components and pistons. Steel mechanical components are best made over here, so we need 2 steel plates per component. So as we need 2, let's get ourselves some plates made up. This will be the last set that we have to make by hand, hopefully. What was the other item? Copper ingots. Nice and simple. 2 copper ingots. So if we put the items into here, we can then just pull those out from there. Pistons we can auto craft. Might as well make 4. Okay, so what was the? Oh, we've run out of electrum. That's annoying. Okay, let's get some gold. Do we want to make this much electrum? I don't know that we do. Yeah, let's just make a couple of blocks. Let's just efficiency of lava. Not that I really need to worry too much about it. The nether is a plentiful supply. Yeah, I did use a bit of electrum in blocks downstairs, so that would be why. The signal and plating requires. Oh, of course. Duh. Yeah, don't turn that on until the blending has done. Alright. Let's try that again. While that's cooking up, let's make ourselves the conveyors that we need. And steel scaffolding, wasn't it? That's the other one we need. Which needs steel rods. Ooh, this is going to be expensive on the old steel. How much do we get? No, that's not too bad. Still, a little expensive. I tend to try and keep things grouped together in this, even though it's not particularly necessary with the refined storage system. Not entirely sure why I go down that kind of route, but I do, so. Alright, have we got our electrum yet? Still making, there we go. Much better. Yeah, don't start having it auto drain stuff out when you're mixing metals, that just goes badly. Right, so heavy engineering block. Boom. And what was he? Oh yeah, the other bits of those. Right. Okay, so we've got enough here to actually make 2, which is great. 200 things, yeah, okay. I've got our crescent hammer, so let's go and set these up downstairs. Because it is in the basement that we want to put these. Now, we're going to use the ability to autocraft from things, but that means we're going to want to just slightly bring them away from the wall, as we'll be bringing the item down and inserting onto the conveyor from this angle. It's just how close together we want to put them. I guess like that will be fine. Yeah, that'll do. And then redstone engineering blocks. Now we want the conveyors to both go in that direction. Pistons we put on there, and then get our crescent hammer out. Rotate them around, and then put our heavy engineering blocks on the top. And then, which bit do we have to whack? Click the piston with the engineer's hammer. There we go. Beautiful. So that gives us the start part. What we need now is to actually make some molds for them. And I forget precisely how we do that. I think we need the engineer's blueprint, don't we? Which needs a steel plate. And then it's much more steel platage. Okay, there's going to be an awful lot of steel involved in this, so let's start cooking up some more. So I think we're pretty low, aren't we? 68 is not massive, so another half stack. Then I think I'm definitely going to need to get the mechanism one on board. Right, okay. Doesn't mind trying to do it that way, that's fine. Right, so we can now change that engineer's blueprint for that engineer's blueprint, and we learn how to do the various bits. And there's two that we're going to want to start with, but only one of them that we need to make to start with, which is the plate. I could be using my smeltery for the various parts, but that's not too much of a concern. So let's make the plate, and then the second one we're going to want to make is the wire. Later we'll also want to make the rod and the gear, but for now the plate is what we want to do. Now you put this on the underside of your piston, and we're going to want an inventory to pull from. The hopper will basically be the best way for this to work, and with the auto crafting system, I mean, this is going to need 4 crafters. There's not really much I can do about that because they're going to share metals, which makes things trickier. Right, so don't need the book for a second. Let's make a chest. And a hopper. Right, and that will now work that side of things. Start making an auto crafter. Oh, we're going to need more wires, I believe. Yeah, like that. And then we can start running probably from that one. We need insulated LV wires, so arg. Just a little bit more use for where are my wire cutters? Did I leave them in a machine? Have they gone into the system? Nope. Okay, oh yeah, I left them over here. That's where I left them. Okay, copper. Last time. Make that. Make that. Excellent. Okay. So this will then hook up from there to there. Fantastic. Powers up. Right, so this should now just be a case. If we put 1 copper into there, stamps, and falls off. So we just need an inventory for it to deposit into at the end over here, to then get pulled back out, and we can now start teaching it how to make all the various types of plate. I have just thought that I don't think this is going to stack well with that one. We are going to want to be using this one going forwards. It replaces it perfectly fine. So do I just teach... do I just get rid of that? I think I'd just get rid of that, surely. Can I overwrite? No. Okay, so I'd need to actually put one in to... right. Solve that later. Let's just start a new thing with copper plates. That's fine. So... crafter, you done now? You are. You go on the bottom of there. Rotate you to face the right way. And now we can start teaching it each of the different plate recipes. Before we do that, let's have a look and see how well this is working. Oh, it definitely is. We've got items coming out. Inferior essence, gunpowder, bones, arrows. That's great. So bows are something we can definitely start voiding. Could do with like a darkened glass. Is there any glass that can... We've got the weatherproof glass, which takes a fair bit of resources, to be fair. I don't think there's glass that can sit there and not let light through. Not in the pack that I'm using. Right, enchanted items. I thought that might be the case. So these are going to be the slightly trickier thing to be rid of, basically. And we can use the enchantments for various things, but at the same time, I'm not really using equipment that can take enchantments. Like I'm using the Tinker's armory thing, so it's not going to work out as well. But no, that's fine. Okay, so we've got two things set up this episode, which is quite good. So the mob farm is now working. Be able to just make this look a bit prettier as a little anti-room of the crusher. Work out what we're actually going to do with the essence. Again, like there's not very much I actually use experience for, sitting on 98 levels of it. Doesn't really help me any. And getting the press set up, we can start teaching it the various parts. Because you've seen me fill crafters with information before, I'm not gonna go through all of that. And we'll then just work out how we want to take the items from the presses once they're done, and feed them back into the system. I'm thinking I will move the importer off here, have an export chest of some description, and just feed all of the metal presses into the same chest. That'll just help alleviate the system a little bit. So come back next time to see how I solve that problem and the next stages, which is going to start involving, I believe, some more astral sorcery while we get working on our cape. I do want to get to flight. I would prefer to do it through the cape and using the perk that's down here, Spectral Wings. So the Visio will granting flight instead of gliding. I think that's the way we're going to go. So we'll need to do a couple of steps of astral sorcery for that. So I'll try and get that prepared for next episode. So thanks very much for joining me here, and I'll see you next time.